Welcome back everybody, this is Halo Reach Tutor. I've got a brand new gameplay video for you. A new map just came out called Adam. I had an opportunity to play it for the first time the other day and I'm going to share that gameplay with you here. As always, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way to help you improve your own gameplay. The first thing I want to share is that it's a good idea to start out with the sprint ability because that gives you the opportunity to rush for the power weapons and gain an advantage right away. A friend of mine tipped me off and told me that the rockets were at this end, so I grabbed them and jump into the man cannon, which normally allows you a height advantage so that you can rain those rockets down to your opponents below. But here I get caught in the low ground, my opponents are up above me, which is less than ideal. Anytime that you have those rockets, establish yourself in the high ground and then shoot those rockets down at your enemies. They'll be very effective that way. The next thing I want to identify is a simple but effective progression. I begin with the pistol here at long range. When my enemy comes closer, I switch to the assault rifle, and then when his shields drop, I'm able to finish him off with a single melee attack. That is a very fundamental but effective strategy to use in any gameplay. If you have the opportunity to lay back at long range and just lay several shots into your opponents, that's the way you want to do it. You want to play a little bit of defense along with that offense. So you can see here I use the DMR to finish this guy off at long range. I'm in no jeopardy whatsoever there. Now if your enemies get a little closer, you're going to want to switch to a better close range weapon if you've got one, like an assault rifle, shotgun, hammer, whatever you have available. Of course, once they get close enough, if you've been using your weapons effectively, their shields will be reduced and you're going to be able to finish them off with a single melee attack. Anytime you get close enough to beat them down, go for it. See if you can finish them off. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of in correlation with that. You want to understand the weapons that you're using and understand the range of their effectiveness, okay? Some weapons are very effective at long range, others are very effective at medium range, some at close range, but they're all different. And more often than not, they'll be effective in some scenarios, but less effective in other scenarios. So make sure that you understand when to use each weapon, and to make sure to carry a combination of weapons that you're going to be able to use effectively. Here I'm able to just hang back and fire at the red team on the other side of the map, pick up a couple easy headshots to start off a killing spree. Make sure to stick around and we'll see if I can turn that into a killing frenzy. As I was saying about the weapons here, you can see I'm able to hang back at long range using the DMR and the needle rifle. But then when I get up into close range, I switch to my close range weapon, the hammer, and I'm able to get an easy kill. Same thing happens right here. I'm using a long range weapon, but when I see the red player coming up right on top of me, switch to a close range weapon, beat him down. Once I know that there's nobody right next to me, I fall back, go back to my long range weapon. Always keep in mind you want to have a good combination of close and long range weapons and know when to use them. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is the layout on the map Adam here. The layout is symmetrical, okay, it's the same on both sides. There's more or less a base on either side. And you can see there's a series of walkways and things around the bases and in between the two bases. And then there's also the ground floor down below, okay, and you can walk underneath the bases, you can walk underneath most of the rampways and things like that. There's a couple lifts back behind the base that you can use to get on top. And then down by the rockets, as I've explained, there are also that man cannon that will launch you to the center of the map. Keep in mind there's a lot of really great long range weapons on this map. Don't spend too much time down in the middle. That's just going to be a death trap. You want to spend a lot of time up here, you know, on the base and around the base, up on the walkways, because you can easily use your long range weapons to shoot down at your enemies. And if you're down in the middle, you're just going to be target practice. The other nice thing about being up on the walkways or in the base here is that you can easily fall down below the walkways to you know, give your teammates some support or shoot at the enemies down below. But the walkways and catwalks here are high enough off the ground that can be difficult to move from ground level up to the walkways, whereas it's easy to drop down. So you want to stay up top here if you have the opportunity. The last thing I'll mention about the layout here is there are a couple health packs in the bases. So if your health is low as mine is here, as I pick up my Killing Frenzy, you'll want to fall back into those bases and recharge your health. I didn't know that those health packs were there. I hadn't noticed them. That's why I'm running around without any kind of health, and I'm playing kind of cautiously here. Here you'll see that using the sprint ability with a close range weapon is very effective. Doesn't matter if it's a hammer, sword, shotgun. That sprint ability can really come in handy. One other tip I want to give you guys as you're navigating, playing with your teammates, is to keep an eye on your teammates' tags, okay? You'll see that those are indicated by blue, yellow, or orange tags that indicate where your teammates are. Keep an eye on those tags. If those tags are blue, that means that your teammates are walking around, they're not engaged in any kind of combat. If the tags are yellow, that means that your teammates are shooting at somebody. And if your teammates' tags are orange, that means that they're being fired upon. Okay, those could be very important indications of what's going on in the map. You want to be communicating with your teammates, but also keep a close eye on what their tags are doing. And that will direct you to the type of combat that's going on. The other thing that you want to do as you're keeping an eye on those tags is also make sure that you're using your full range of senses. Use your ears as much as possible. If you listen carefully, you're going to be able to hear different weapons. They all sound differently. And if you can listen for different weapons, you'll know what your teammates are using, you'll know what your opponents are using, and you can adjust your strategy accordingly to the type of weapons that are out there. For example, if you can hear that hammer swinging, or you hear a sniper rifle going off, you want to communicate with your teammates or try to at least look around and find out which team is using those weapons. Make sure that you're playing offensively and defensively with an appropriate strategy depending on what weapons are being used currently. So a word about the jetpacks. I'm using the jetpacks here. The red team's been using jetpacks pretty much the entire game. The jetpacks can be helpful on this level because, as I mentioned before, the walkways, it can be difficult to get from the ground level up to the walkways here. So it can be very helpful in that respect. However, the red team makes the mistake of flying much too high with those jetpacks, which just makes them an open target. So be careful when you're using the jetpacks. Use them to get around a little bit, maybe to evade that hammer. But don't spend too much time too high up in the air, or you're just going to be awarding pull medals to the entire opposing team. Alright folks, this is Halo Reach Tutor. Thanks for watching the video today. I hope you're able to learn a couple things. Please leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like the video. I'll see you next time.